What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Bangkok Strange Live Weekend Coffee. Here from the beautiful Bangkok, and my co-host, as always, the bald and beautiful Mike Somerville with his motherfucking palm trees in the background. He is down. Is it Samui, Mike?
Yeah, I'm down in Koh Samui. I'm here for like 4 or 5 days because I have to take a return flight back to Bangkok on Thursday from Surat Thani.
Yeah. So he's struggling down there. You drove or you flew?
So I flew down to Surat Thani, and then I took a van over to the Don Sak Pier, and then took the ferry over to here to Samui. An awesome ride.
So real quick, I gotta say, I've got no coffee today, right? And not by choice.
I was gonna say, clearly,
my water boiler died.
What happened with it? Didn't you pay like $1,000 for it?
Not quite $1,000, but they're not cheap. But,
Yeah, right.
but mine actually keeps the water at a certain temperature, which I brew my coffee at, and something happened with the thermometer, so it wouldn't hold the temp, and so it just kept cycling through boil cycles. So I ordered another one, should be here soon, which will fix my coffee issue. But yeah, I've been without the home brew for a minute.
So you're doing 3-in-1?
No, I'm not doing 3-in-1. God no. So real quick,
not even in an emergency.
Not even in an emergency. I want to run through the chat and say hi to all the strangelings that have joined us today.
Yes.
We got Go More Hike. Hike, how you doing, man? Joe P in the house as always. The Born Nomad, how are you, my friend? Hug Life, thanks for joining us. Greetings and aloha, indeed. Did a mango sticky rice. How you doing, brother? Stuck. How you doing out there in Florida? Steve, man, thank you very much. I tell you, Steve's got the shirt, got the new Bangkok Strange shirt. Very sharp looking.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you for that photo, by the way, dude.
Yeah, thank you.
We both would really appreciate that.
Doorman over in ASQ.
3 days? 4 days.
He's only got
maybe 3 nights
left. Yeah.
3 nights, I think. 3 nights, 4 days. I think he gets out on the 26th.
I know. I was talking to Mike. Your wife came to visit you, and that's going to be awesome, but it's also going to kind of suck because you've been away for so long. You're like, what? I'm like, literally, like I could jump out this window and be with her, but I can't because I'm in ASQ.
I was trying to think, like, if that were my situation and Gracie were down there, like, how long?
I know who you are. You would jump out the window.
Yeah, knowing how that works, I would purposely be like, no. I tell you what, just give me a room on the bottom floor. No big deal. Don't worry about
it. Yeah. They probably don't give out ASQ rooms on the ground floor for that very reason.
Do you have relatives in Bangkok? Okay, we're going to put you on a high floor, sir.
Yeah, right. You're on the top floor. Yeah. So Steve says, and we've heard this feedback from everyone. Everyone says the shirt's high quality. And again, that's
happy about that.
One of the things the reasons that we picked Teespring as our retail partner, specifically because we wanted to have a better quality shirt. It has some limitations for us, but I like the construction, the quality, the weight of that shirt. I think it's appropriate, especially for most of our audience that lives in the US. A heavier shirt's a better fit, whereas only over here does Mike wear a shirt of that weight.
Long sleeves, baby.
Yeah, I've got like spray-on shirts so that I have minimal impact. But Mike's over here with like a 40-ounce shirt fabric.
Well, dude, you saw my post on Facebook this morning. It's 81. It was like, okay, I knew you were giving me shit. You're like, oh my God, it was 81. And yeah, but when I was up the balcony, which is, by the way, this is actually live from my balcony right now. Just a still that I'm taking, guys. That's my droid cam. But it was chilly on the balcony this morning.
Yeah, so it's been brutally hot in Bangkok.
Oh, did I lose you?
Days.
Okay.
No, I lost you for a minute. You were a little choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Daniel Netz jumping on. Greetings and aloha, Mike, and the other guy. My name is Dana Daniel. Don't worry.
He's the host, amigo. He started this whole thing. Blame him for its success.
I'm the beard. Mike's the one who actually. I saw Mike with like maybe 2 days of no shaving the other day. I was quite impressed with his beard growth.
That was actually 3 days. Yeah, that was a full day, and yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all, dude. Not at all.
I thought it looked good. I was about to give you some beard balm, a little bit of beard oil. You could have gone home and nurtured it.
Pass.
So actually, I just got my my new shorts in that I think I talked about on the show before. I had made from the craftsman that works with me, and they're made from a denim that is woven with linen. These things are insane. It's like I'm not wearing anything. It's so light and breezy. So light and breezy.
Could he make me a pair that were essentially cargo shorts? Because I mean, I use these side pockets like for a lot of stuff, not the least of which is my passport when I travel.
I refuse to allow him to make cargo shorts. It's just an offensive garment in general.
How was your coffee this morning? I mean, I know you've got that really expensive, really reliable way to do it. You know, I mean, my God, it's impossible for me to make 3-in-1 no matter where I am. So I understand your pain because it's such a difficult beverage to be able to enjoy. Yet you, who've invested thousands of dollars basically in your coffee, clearly can enjoy it more than I can. Good job.
Here's the thing. Oh, Mr. Mitch just popped in. Hey, Mr. Mitch. Here's the thing with cargo pockets and denim, right? Do you want a pleated pocket, like a pocket with a pleat in the middle, or do you want like just like side pleated pockets?
I would want side pleated pockets, like basically on my thighs, right?
Okay, but no pleat in the middle.
Hold on. Let me see what do I have on right now? Let me see.
No pants at all. Dun, dun.
No pants at all.
Oh yeah, that's not actually pleated. It's just stitched to look pleated.
It's got like width to it, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. But I mean, in the middle, there's no double pleat there. That's just a stitch to make it look like a double pleat.
Well, yeah, it's like it's like stitched 3 times.
He probably could. I could, if he's got more of this fabric, I can measure you and get you a pair made. Not cheap fabric though. Not cheap fabric.
It's a little thick too. I mean, I will tell you the fabric that this stuff is made out of. Yesterday, I get to Samui, and if you guys don't know, apparently it's rainy season here in Samui, which you can tell. It's going to rain. Trust me, it rained a lot, and so I'm driving my motorbike probably 10 kilometers. So I get here, I'm totally soaked. I take off this shirt, and this is cotton, and this took probably the whole day. I got here about 1 o'clock. Took about the whole day before the nighttime to dry. My pants, with this fabric it has, maybe 10 minutes. I mean, I was amazed at how quickly it dried. What is it called? It's like that. You told me what the fabric type is.
Yeah, it's like that poly blend.
Yeah, but it's got like that square stitch
Rip
to
stop.
It. Rip stop?
Yeah.
And is that designed for integrity or for drying quickly?
It's integrity of the fabric, right? So it's what it sounds like, rip stop. If you get a rip, it shouldn't rip past the uncompromised squares.
Oh, that's a great design. I'm surprised they don't make those like purposely ripped jeans out of that fabric so they'll last forever, right?
Yeah, but then no one would buy because they'd be like, why have all these little squares? No, I want shitty ripped jeans.
I want shitty jeans. And I have to overpay for them, much like I would for a device that heats water, which has been a very difficult thing to accomplish in the years since fire was invented.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Oh, we got Cody in the house. What's going on from Alaska?
Benja, sorry, crap.
Yeah. Benja on the stream today.
I'll make it down to our area again, I think.
So, yeah. So anyway, this fabric for these shorts, it's amazing. It is thick, right? But it doesn't feel heavy. Like you wear it, and there's so much air movement from the linen integrated with the denim. It's really an unreal feeling fabric-wise.
Okay, so you go outdoors and you sweat basically when it's above 85, let's say.
Above 60, yeah.
Okay. So I go outdoors and I walk at least 5 kilometers. Like this morning, I went for a walk. It was like 2.5 kilometers. It was quick.
Yeah.
And I was sweating and stuff. How far have you walked in these jeans to give me sort of a sweat test? Like, in other words, how long does it take? Because I don't wear jeans purposely in Thailand because they're freaking thick and they're hot as hell.
So I walked to 7-Eleven last night with these on, and
Okay.
so the sun was already down, but it was still 32.
Yeah, it's still Bangkok. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was still, I mean, of course I sweat a little bit, but like I wasn't like pouring sweat. Like my nuts weren't taking a bath in like a sweat puddle.
Okay. But any more than, let's say, the fabric of the shorts I'm wearing now? What do you believe is there a delta?
It's not about what I'm wearing. It's just that my body is not used to, despite having lived here for like almost 8 years, my body's not used to the heat.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I like the things to be lightweight for sure. And again, the other thing too is that I buy these clothes for the most part, with the exception of my Gay Earth shirts, because I'm like, okay, if I'm traveling and I get damaged, like I'm just going to throw them away.
Yeah.
And then go to the market and another 100 baht. Next pair. So it's like, it's very disposable. And in fact, these I bought when I was.
No, Mike, I lost you. He's frozen on my end. Mike,
Am I dying regularly?
Yeah, that's the second time you've frozen up.
Well, unfortunately, this is the hotel Wi-Fi, and the hotel Wi-Fi is better than if I were on my phone. But let me do this. I'll get rid of this background, actually, and
Okay.
that will relieve a little bit of traffic on the Wi-Fi. So give me 10 seconds.
As Mike jumps into the abyss. Oh, Richard Martin, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. If I miss anyone else on the stream, I apologize, but thank you for coming by. I appreciate you, neighbor. Mr. Mitch, then just tell us how you really feel. Joe, would you send it to the Facebook chat? Let me take a look.
Oh, that's right. We don't have the Facebook.
He sent a photo, and the problem is that I can't see the Facebook chat on. I can't see the Facebook chat on my phone. I have to be logged into the web version. But Joe makes a great comment here. Gay Earth cargo shorts. Though I don't know that that shorts are the right thing to make from that patchwork of fabric.
Well, it's funny. I asked him about that, and I guess I think I maybe checked in with you on this as well. But it sounded like pants/shorts are a lot more difficult than a shirt. Is that accurate?
Yeah. So yeah, pants. So a pant pattern, in my opinion, is more difficult to dial in than a shirt pattern, right? And shirts aren't necessarily easy. Like no matter what Earth's making that patchwork fabric's hotter than making the shirt or making the pants themselves. But to get the fit right on a pair of pants or a pair of shorts, in your case, is in fact more difficult than getting the fit right on a shirt because of how the four seams come together at the crotch.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
So that's the main part of the challenge. And then an Earth would make it like a pair of trousers. I can guarantee he would put darts on the back, which to taper the backside and give it shape, as opposed to jeans, which have a yoke to give them shape.
A yoke. What does that mean? Is that like
that triangle shape on the back of the jeans?
Okay.
So
all right.
If you look like right below the waistband, above the legs, there's a two triangle pieces, and those are called the yokes.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
So, but it's a more difficult thing to do. I don't think Earth knows how to do it, so he would do it like trousers and give it darts.
Darts. What are darts?
Darts are just like little triangles that you stitch in and you cut out of the back to give them shape.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm up for it. I'm up for anything gay, anything Earth.
Anything gay, anything Earth, all day, all night.
All day. Every day, baby.
Every day. Dun dun dun. Boom chicken boom boom. So you just grabbed this flight last night, right? Yesterday,
sort of, yeah. I mean, I booked it about 2 or 3 days ahead of time. Simply what I did is I went on and was like, okay, like what's the flight for like basically 1,000 baht
Yeah.
down to Surat Thani. I think I told you, or maybe I mentioned it, that I tried to order a car through rentalcars.com.
Yeah, we had like a 2-hour conversation about about their customer service
on the live stream.
No, in person. When we
Oh,
skipped the
okay.
live stream and then we're hanging out at my place waiting for my delivery.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was cool, actually. It was a good afternoon.
Yeah.
So anyway, so what happened was I booked this thing and I was going to pick it up in Bangkok and drop it off in Surat Thani, hang out in Surat Thani, and then take this flight back so that I don't lose my Air Asia Unlimited pass, right? So I'm like, okay, so they send me the reservation confirmation, and it's like, pick it up in Bangkok, drop it off in Bangkok. And I'm like, no. I need to drop it off in Surat Thani. And the guy's like, yeah, just go into the website and make the change. And I'm like, you should be able to do that up to an hour before the reservation. I'm like, dude, I believe you believe that, but I'm unable to do that. So anyway,
And
to
you
the good
actively
customers,
opted in to the drop off in another location.
precisely. And if you guys have ever rented a car from a website like since 1996, you understand that like the pickup from and then the drop off, the default for the drop off, of course, is exactly where you pick it up, but they always have the checkbox, which you have to intentionally check, that then gives you the ability to return it somewhere else. And many times that's more expensive. There's a drop-off fee, but whatever. There's nobody doing anything in Thailand right now, so there's no additional fees for anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, awesome.
Full price.
It hard by any means. Yeah. So this room I'm staying in is normally 3,700 baht, and even with tax through Agoda, I'm paying 1,090. So but yeah, so I tried to do that and then that didn't work. And so I said, all right, well, fine. Let me just go on Google/flights. And I find that Thai Smile will get me down here even with extra. Oh, here's what was great about Thai Smile. Default of Thai Smile is 20 kilos of luggage that you can take on your, none of this 7-kilo nonsense like the ultra low cost carriers, because it's Thai Airways. And so therefore the customer service is
AirAsia.
Amazing. Yeah, AirAsia. Look, here's the only reason I bought the AirLiner Unlimited Pass is because I figured I would use it so much and take advantage of the price reduction so much that hopefully I would contribute to them going bankrupt. But
fuck you, Tony.
Yeah, so Tony can blow me all the way from friggin' Jakarta, or no, I guess KL is where he's. Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, so Thai Smile Airways, huge thumbs up to those guys. They got me down to Surat Thani, and then C-Tran, if you guys have ever taken that service. Some of the best ferries I've ever been on. Excellent service, very seaworthy, brand new gear. And so yeah, so that's how I got down to Surat Thani. Let's see, I got here yesterday. I left my house about 5 a.m. Flight was 7:30, left early. Got to Surat Thani Airport, was booked on the 10 a.m. bus. They left at 9:17, and got on the boat and was over here and basically hanging out in this hotel by like about 1:30. So yeah, Samui's pretty cool now. Anyone who's been to Koh Samui, arguably before 2019 and before, I get a lot of comments from people that are like, oh my God, I hate Samui. It's so polluted. It's way overbuilt. I'm like, not where I'm at, dude. It's dead.
Have you seen the pictures of the bay where they filmed the beach and it's like perfectly pristine?
Oh yeah. Well, it is pristine now, but it's also pristine, right? Because they closed it, I think, almost 2 years ago because of the environment.
Yeah, but there were still douchebags breaking the ban, and now no one can go. So it's like it's really just like turned around. But
that's great.
We're talking about AirAsia. There's a flight on AirAsia. This is probably going to be. I've taken over 100 AirAsia flights. I'll tell you about my worst one in a minute. But there's one online that you can go look up with. It was actually a Bangkok to KL flight. The engine failed halfway to KL, or not even halfway. I think they were still in Thai airspace. They had to turn around, and the fucking pilot, comes on the intercom and says, "Please pray that we make it back." Fuck you! If you're the pilot, you're in charge of making sure we're safe, and you tell me to pray. I know that there is like zero confidence in your own ability to get us there.
Yeah, that's less than elegant, you know.
No,
But
that is not what I want to. And he said something like, if "Please pray to your God that we make it back," or something like that. I'm like, that is the last thing I want to hear when the engine falls off the plane.
and okay, it physically detached from the wing,
I don't think the whole thing fell off, but part of it came off.
but there was no like fire or any sort of
No,
smoke.
but the plane was shaking violently.
Yeah, it would because of the turbulence that would have been caused on the one wing.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, the damn thing can fly with just the one engine. But that's totally inappropriate. I mean, talk about unprofessional. I hope he was fired. He was.
Yeah, I hope so
probably
too.
Not. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the other thing, that my worst flight with AirAsia was probably, I gotta say, it was maybe like 3 years ago. And I realized I've taken over 100 flights, but we got on one of these flights and it had like fucking bus seats. So not padded cushioned seats. They were like hard plastic molded seats.
AirAsia?
Yeah, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I think they were trying to roll it out to save weight. And they just got too many complaints, and they're like, all right, we can't do that.
That's weird because, I mean, again, they've got no capital. So the only way that they can like fly planes is to lease them, which means they're brand new. So I don't understand. So it was a brand new plane, but with shitty seats?
Yeah, they were plastic molded seats. They probably weigh a tenth of the padded seats.
Oh, yeah, sure, for sure. Well, and they don't recline, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, no, they didn't recline either. No.
I'm trying to think who does that in the United States. I think it's what's the Frontier Airlines in the United States has unmovable seats. Now they're padded. It's not like you're riding on the BTS.
Yeah.
But
so Cody says, wait, what airline was that? That was AirAsia, Cody. Yeah. AirAsia all day. Actually, I'll tell you what though, a good story from AirAsia. Well, a shitty story that turned into a good story. Sort of a good story. There was a girl who had a conflict with one of the customers. This is in Thailand. And the customer like complained. She was like basically a Thai Karen. Complained to the manager, ends up getting like the ground manager, Dam Young, to like reprimand the person who she had a conflict with, and gets her to like get down on her knees and bow in front of her to apologize. And she took a fucking photo of it and posted it online. So Tony Fernandez,
wait, who bowed down?
The woman who the customer had a conflict with, the employee.
So the employee was on the ground.
Forced the employee to get on her knees and apologize. So Tony Fernandez flew up, basically fired the manager who did that, and said that's not how we treat employees. Customers not always right. So like he made one good call out of how many years have they been in operation?
One good leadership call. Yeah, exactly. That's it's good that he did that. Actually, that was a wise leadership move. But still.
One of many he missed.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, hopefully he like looked at least internally to himself as well as his leadership team and said, okay, so why did we have a person of authority that believed this was the right decision? What sort of training program are we giving these people? And it's likely not much.
Yeah. No, so these guys are saying Frontier and Spirit are pretty bad. Poor reputations.
So here's what I will say about these low-cost carriers is I never have the expectation that I, 6'2", am going to have legroom unless I buy it. So therefore, like Southwest Airlines has really decent customer service, but their planes, the legroom sucks. So unless I am with Southwest, as most of you know, you get on, you can choose wherever you sit. So usually I have to get in like A1, A2, A3, and I have to pay for that because I want to be able to get into the emergency exit row. So the good news with these other low-cost carriers is that I can actually buy that seat. And so even though I have this AirAsia Unlimited pass, my flights, I mean, again, it's free, but my flights still cost me like 550 baht each way because I'm unwilling to be in discomfort for even an hour. Same thing with Spirit Airlines. The nice thing about Spirit Airlines is on many of their longer flights, they actually have, they call it first class, which is bullshit. But instead of having like 3x3, they have like 2x2. So you do get a wider seat in front. I can understand why some people are like, I hate Spirit Airlines because they nickel and dime me. But here's the cool thing about Spirit Airlines. They're so freaking discount that it truly is nickels and dimes. Like, for example, if you go into a Spirit Airlines, you go on the website, you buy everything. You buy the extra luggage. You buy it costs you $10 to be able to check in versus use a computer. I mean, it's ridiculous. But if you buy all of that stuff and then compare it to the price of the same one way on Southwest, as an example, San Diego to Fort Lauderdale, nonstop, it's still cheaper on Spirit Airlines, and you get a much better seat. You get an assigned seat. You get extra luggage and all that. Whereas, Southwest is not that cheap. So I like that part of it. But the problem is that most people don't go into it with that expectation. They're like, I want to pay one amount, and I don't want you to dick me around. I don't care if I have to pay over for it, which is how Southwest runs their business model. But, again,
I think Southwest seating thing where you just cattle car seating.
Yeah, especially for someone who needs extra legroom. I don't get to choose.
Imagine if you had like a bunch of Karens on a Southwest flight.
Oh, I've seen a guy. I haven't seen any disruptive, but I've seen disruptive men on Southwest saying, listen, I'm a gold member and all this, and I've been flying you guys forever. I should be able to bap. And it's like, dude, you're flying Southwest. Did you expect some privilege? If you've got fucking balls that big, then you should be a million miler, and you should be flying basically first class, lay flat seats on JetBlue, dick.
Yeah, actually, I like JetBlue. It's actually, they're quite fun.
Yes.
Customer service through the roof.
Customer service through the roof. They definitely have enough legroom in the regular seats for me.
Yeah.
They did decrease it by an inch, which I can appreciate from a business perspective, but it kind of pisses me off.
Probably gave them an extra row or two.
Yeah, and generate a little bit more revenue, which is fine. I will tell you, I had one bad experience on JetBlue. They had the cabin very, very cold, and again, arguably for me. Okay. But the point is that I was cold, and so I said, "Hey,
if you guys don't know, when Mike flies, he wears a fucking beanie and a hoodie."
So yeah, well, here's another great thing about Thai Smile Airways. I didn't need to wear my beanie because, of course, I have a bald head. So if that air is coming down on me, then I'm cold. So I didn't need to wear my beanie on Thai Smile. So kapumaka.
So I'm the guy who I will hijack your vent and just blow them all on me.
Yeah, awesome, great. Take it. Just take it the hell away from me. And so I'm on JetBlue, and as you know, there's free internet on JetBlue, right? And it's actually quite good. Like I've live streamed. I haven't live streamed, but I've watched live video from YouTube streaming. It works quite well. And so I was really, really cold. And so I said to the woman, I said, look, can you change? Yeah. So she says, she tells the captain, which I don't believe she did. Came back, it's still very cold. And I said, look, can you guys give me a blanket? And she's like, yeah, that'll be like $8. And I'm like, okay, here's the deal. If you wouldn't keep the fucking cabin so goddamn cold, I wouldn't have to pay this $8. So I tweeted it and threw it on social media. The woman comes back because I put my seat number. I said who I was and all of this stuff. She comes out to me. She goes, oh, sir, yeah, here you go. Here's your blanket. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. I'm like, love you, social media.
Yeah, I think, as far as customer service, that's the one thing that we know will set an airline apart from others. I've always had a good experience on JetBlue. I'd fly them in the U.S. in a minute.
Yep.
AirAsia is once you're on the ground, once you're in the airport or on the plane, the customer service is great. But in my experience, getting in touch with them remotely is pretty shitty.
Yeah, I've had pretty good experiences with Southwest on the phone, but the other bigger carriers like United and American Airlines, they're just totally incompetent and unwilling to staff.
I flew China Eastern, I think it was. I had a business class flight to Guangzhou from Bangkok. And, business class on there is basically they've got, I think there's 8 seats, two rows of 2, both sides. So for 8 total. And it's basically a lazy boy. It's a super comfortable chair. But then I had to switch my flight to, instead of flying back to Bangkok, I had to fly to Malaysia for the EFM network opening when I had the show on EFM. It's the big launch party. They wanted me to be there, so they rebooked a flight for me, and they couldn't get me in business class. I ended up sitting next to this Chinese fucking Karen that somehow got a fingernail clipper on the flight and thought it was a good idea to cut her toenails while we were eating.
Yeah, I swear to God, I look at some people and I'm like, dude, I'm from another planet. Like, who taught you how to be this way?
Yeah,
Amazing.
like she kept bumping into me, like she was like massaging herself, and she kept elbowing me. I was like, "Fucking stop!" And then when she started cutting her toenails, I basically snatched the fingernail clipper from her, like I snatched your phone from you on the BTS the other day, and
nice.
I threw it on the ground, and I complained that to the flight attendants that she had a weapon, and they didn't know.
Good.
Like what? I'm like, yeah, she has a weapon. I'm fucking nervous.
Good for you. Absolutely.
Yes, I saw Mike coming back from lunch the other day with Jib and Jam, and I see Mike on the train. He doesn't even notice me. Like he's literally in the doorway as we walk in. He's like backing up. He's on his phone, start looking on Grindr, trying to make dates.
Left, right.
Yeah. Sure. So I walk over and I just snatch his phone from him. He looks up. He's like, "Hey, man."
Yeah. I was like, "Hey, dude, what's going on?" I was so tired too because I had like just gone all the way to basically the other end of the BTS. But I'll tell you, man, that pharmacy,
Tula, right?
Yeah, I was over. Well, you get off at Siam, right, and then you basically walk past MBK, and then you end up on I don't know the name of the street, but I guess it was where there were protests before. I don't know.
Yeah, the night before. Yeah, I was actually supposed to have a meeting in Siam that day, and we had to cancel because of the protests.
Yeah, which is again, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to really talk about it. Who cares? It doesn't affect my life. In fact, if no one told me about it, I wouldn't know about it. It doesn't enter my life at all.
Had I not had a meeting canceled, I would have had zero impact.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, who cares, man? It's just like I don't.
They also announced it like the day before, so it's not like they're just popping up. They're like, "Hey, tomorrow we're going to protest at this location."
Yeah, they have it scheduled, dude. It's so Thai appropriate. I mean, it's awesome.
Oh, we got Benja. Benja's offending people in the chat. She has to make apologies.
Oh, Benja, let me tell you something. Benja, I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase "walking on eggshells." Okay. And basically that means that you're in some type of relationship where like you have to watch everything you do and it becomes ridiculous. There are 0 eggshells in this relationship right here. You can say whatever the heck you want. Please
eggshell
don't.
Free.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something. One of the things that kind of concerns me about the entrepreneurial culture or the startup ecosystem here in Thailand is the fact that people are a little bit too risk averse. And I would invite you. Overall. Yeah. And I would invite you to be a little bit more risk tolerant, Benja. If for no other place than here on Bangkok Strange.
Mango Sticky Rice wants to discuss the Mile High Club.
So I didn't do that with a stewardess or flight attendant, whatever. But twice. One of them, the interesting thing about the second time was it was with a girl that I literally met walking towards the back of the plane to use the restroom. And she was like on my left. And she was from San Diego. She was going back to like New Hampshire or something like that. Hung out with her. And my God, I completely forgot about this.
That's like
when I got back.
I'm a member with someone who I met I was sitting next to on the flight.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I wasn't sitting next to her. That was like pretty great. Michelle. Oh my God, I hung out with her in San Diego. We dated for a while, which was,
So again, I saw this girl at the gate and I was like, God, she's gorgeous. And she ends up sitting next to me and we just hit it off chatting. I had like a Sudoku book with me. And she like asked me to teach her how to do Sudoku. I did. And then
in the restroom?
No. So then she's like, oh, I'm going to take a nap. It's a long flight. And she's like leaning on me and she starts like rubbing my dick while she's taking a nap. I'm like,
Wow, that's interesting. That's
bold. And then like one thing just led to another. She's like, oh, meet me in the bathroom in 30 seconds.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's annoying though, right? I mean, there's like no space.
Yeah, especially if you're my size. Like you're big, but you're not Dana big.
Fat.
No, I'm just much wider than you. I am fatter than you as well, but I mean, just in general, I take up a lot more space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Although every single person that joins you and I in the studio clearly is a midget. We are giant people.
I think we're only going to film that way from now on.
Dude, I know, right? Be like, yeah, like if we bring Chad over, who's 6'4", be like, nah, he's basically 4'6".
Yeah.
Homo.
But yeah, so in the bathroom, it's quite difficult to find a working angle. And if you do it in the bathroom, if you're doing it with the stewardess, they have their own rooms, I guess, like behind the bathrooms in the middle of the plane.
It depends on the size of the plane. Yeah, that's true.
So I mean, you could technically, if you get it hooked up like that with a stewardess, but if it's just with a passenger, then do what you gotta do.
I was trying to think how old I was. I think I was like about 25. I think I was 25. So, I mean, I can get it up anywhere at 25, but now I need more mood.
So even Cody's, I think for me it was, quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
Pushing a decade on that one. So even with Cody's, like, how do you do it with those tiny bathrooms? Quite difficult and with not a lot of movement.
Yeah, no, it is what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And actually,
Butterfly.
speaking of people we've had on the show, did you see Chris's three videos the other day about condos you can buy?
No, I've seen the thumbnails, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, I'm sure they're entertaining because it's Chris and he's an awesome guy, but I'm like, I have no interest whatsoever in like a condo that you can get for the same price as a condo in San Diego. Fuck that. Yeah,
so you're paying for location with all of the ones he showed. They're all like, and they're super small, like 70 square meters. 76 square meters is the most expensive one.
And where are they? Like at a soak?
It's in a Planchette.
Okay.
Like, right in Planchette. And then, they're high-end, like, boutique condos, but, like, 20 million baht for a 70 square meter 3-bedroom is quite tight.
Why make a 3-bedroom out of 70 square meters? Make a 2.
I had a 1-bedroom that was the same size.
Holy shit. I'm trying to think, how big is mine? I think mine is 58. It's 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not, I'll tell you something, I'll never get anything smaller. That's for sure.
I mean, I think a small space can be great if you optimize it and you build it out, like really, if you're into that type of like sort of optimized architecture, you like build out a small space to be really kit, then that's awesome. But to have like a prefab 76 square meter 3-bedroom is way too tight for my liking.
No, I mean, again, if you do have limited, I mean, Gracie and I, we stayed at one of the newer condos at the base on Nut, and I think it was like 30 square meters, but it's like you can barely walk around the bed, and the bedroom and it was only a queen size bed, but it's nice and new, and it looks very farang and gringo and upper class. But I'm like, there's no.
Thai apartments will do, or Thai condos will do this. They'll build a room that is the exact measurements of a bed and a wardrobe.
Yeah, they'll be like,
yeah. So the queen size it is then.
Yeah,
that's all you got.
I swear, I think
they'll put it right up against a window.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, and so you're like, why is it so hot over here but cold over? Yeah. I mean, all you can do really, like we were saying the other day, is go to IKEA and say, look, just give me the whole set because I've only got 30 square meters for a house. Yeah, just install all this.
Yeah, like I said, I have 280, and like most of it's for workspace, but it's like my bedrooms are comfortable like to be in. It's not like I have a bed that's it in the room. There's space to walk around.
You have king size?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally the way to go.
And like I could put a couch in my bedroom as well, and like we could have TVs. We purposely keep the bedroom empty so that it feels more spacious.
Dude, absolutely. I'll tell you what, I learned a long time ago, do not put a TV in the bedroom. That is not a good thing to do.
And I would never watch it. Like it makes no sense to me. We don't watch TV now as it is. Like we watch stuff on the computers if we want to watch something together.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part. I finally made it to season 8 of Grey's Anatomy last night. I'm on episode 1.
You're halfway.
Yeah, and it was funny. Todd and I were going back and forth, and he mentioned something. We were talking about gratitude attacks, whatever. And he's like, "Okay, dude, no bullshit. Like, how often do you cry during the Grey's Anatomy episodes?" I'm like, "Dude, easily 50%. Easily 50% of the." I'm like, "Oh, it's fucking."
Is that just because you're so on edge right now?
It's great. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, basically for the last like a month and a half, I'm having my period. Like I am just like, Gracie's not here. Like life is fucking awesome, but it's missing a part of it.
Yeah,
and
it could be more awesome.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not like, oh my God, I've only got $1 million in the bank. I don't have 1,000,003. It's not okay.
So
Again,
Cody says Korean Air, Singaporean Air, and I will say
ooh,
Singaporean Air. This is the first airline I flew to Asia with, 2006,
yeah,
and I will say when I flew Singapore Air for the first time from the U.S. to Singapore, all of the flight attendants were gorgeous. They were all models.
and they're all the same size.
Yeah, they're all the same size. They have that perfectly fitted outfit, and
Yes,
all the ones on
yes.
my flight had British accents. And
Oh
I was
yeah.
just like, oh my god, how do they find these like perfect women to be
I
these?
love Asia.
I was like, it skewed my view on Asia. I fell in love with the continent then.
Shocker. People are like, so Dana, I mean, Mike has this video series. So why Thailand for you? You're like, British accents.
Yeah. So actually, I just saw a comment. Yeah, here it is. So South Korea is not like Thailand. They aren't as open to forongs. So the same is true of Japan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Southeast Asia in general, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, all very warm, welcoming places. Myanmar too. I'll throw Myanmar in there, even though I'm not a fan. But the people are generally, for the most part, nice. Not as nice as like maybe the rest of the region. So you go to other parts of Asia, and even so, like Jib takes Japanese classes. Her Japanese teacher told her that Japanese people don't consider Southeast Asians to be Asians. To them, that's not Asian, right?
Okay.
Japanese people are more extreme than Koreans, even in the fact that they think like, Japan is Japan, everyone else is shit.
Yeah,
Where in
yeah.
Korea, they're just, I think it's just that they're much more stoic as a society, and they might be more open. It's just how they show it or not show it. Where in Japan, they're very, very aggressively anti everyone,
Mm.
essentially. In both beautiful countries, both great places, and and I'm not speaking for the entire population, obviously, because there's nice
Yeah,
people
yeah.
everywhere, there's assholes
Sure.
everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
but an overall feel of the culture in Japan is that they do not welcome you as much. In Korea, I know Jib was in Korea just last year with our friends, and they had a great time, but like one of her friends spoke Korean, right? There's zero
Mm-hmm.
English ability, whereas you come pretty much anywhere in Southeast Asia, you can get by without knowing any of the language. Like I speak enough Thai to get by and order food, get directions, stuff like that. But I lived here for years and years with knowing like Sawadee Crop, and that's it. So you can get by in pretty much any major city
Major city. Yeah, I'm
in
glad you
Thailand
clarified
without
because
knowing English. But
yeah.
even in Thailand, outside of a major city, if they don't know any English and you don't know any Thai, they're going to try their damnedest to figure out how they can help you do something.
Well, Google Translate too. I mean, I literally used that yesterday.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, if
so
that's not available, like if you're trying to find something or you're on the side of the road, people will stop, and if they don't speak English, they're still going to try to help you for the most part.
yes, yeah,
Right?
they'll totally try to help you,
They'll
regardless of
bend
whether it's
over
a language.
backwards. Yeah,
Yeah.
language or not. You're not going to really find that. My buddy John was in Japan, and they wanted to arrest him for looking at motorcycles. They thought he was like a American motorcycle gangster.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well. Hey, go to Richard Martin's comments because
Medtech's here. What's up, Medtech?
hey, good to see you, buddy. Because he's talking about. So specifically, he starts out, he's like, my next vacation, I want to spend a week in Japan. But then his next comment is, a week later, and Thailand reversed the 50,000 baht requirement for their visa. And I want to see if he can clarify that, or if he meant to type reverse the 500,000 baht requirement for their tourist visa. And then I'm curious where he's living right now, because if there is no 500,000 baht requirement for Gracie to get a tourist visa in Manila, then she'll be there this afternoon. But I believe that is still a requirement for there. So it just curious what you're referring to, Richard. selfishly.
And Steve backing me up here on Japan. He says I nailed it. He spent a lot of time in country working for Japanese. Again, beautiful place. I'm sure there's a ton of nice people. It's just their attitudes to foreigners, man. It's that's their culture.
They're very Japanese.
Cody's got a comment that I agree with. Vietnam feels a bit off. I have friends who love Vietnam. I'm not a massive fan, right? It's okay. It's cool. It's nice to visit, but I have friends who live there. I would not choose to. I could. And if I lived there, I would make the most of it, but it would not be top of my list.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Gracie and I went to some very touristy places. And yeah, I mean, in Thailand, I feel, and I think Dana shares this with me, very well received.
Yeah.
Joyfully received, for example. I told you about my experience yesterday. I get off the pier. I walk down. There's a whole bunch of motorcycles. The woman's not even there. And everyone's like, motorcycle must. I said, no. I rent my motorcycles from Balm, this lady. So I called some other lady. She goes, oh, yeah, I just called Balm. She's on the way. She rolls up on her motorcycle. She looks up. She's like, oh, she comes over. She grabs my hand, gives me a kiss on the cheek. This is like a 65-year-old Thai lady with, missing a. And she says, okay. I said, yeah, I just need it for 4 days, but I always come. And, oh, God, I give you a discount. I'm like, dude, you are making zero freaking money. I'm like, when's the last time you rented this motorbike? Oh, last time you were here. That was July, Balm. Jesus Christ. I said, look, I'll give you 250 baht a day. She goes, no. For you, discount, 150 baht a day. I'm like, I want to throw money. I said, okay, yeah, whatever, But she's like,
just happy to have you there.
And you think I wasn't? Oh my God. I'm like, I almost bought the thing off of her. And I'm like, I tell you what, just keep it. Next time I'm here, you can just have it for me. I mean, she's just, I get that. So, and I know, same thing with you, dude. We get this everywhere. And I swear it's because of who we are. When's the last time either of us sent a message to one another online saying, oh my God, I can't believe this. I should go. Did I tell you that our buddy tells me the other day online?
Well, now he's my buddy. He's not our buddy. He's my buddy now.
No, I said our buddy.
Okay.
Or did I say my buddy? Or did I say your buddy? All right. In regards,
your buddy.
Our buddy. I'll say our buddy. He says to me, he takes a picture of, or got a picture somehow, I guess, of the last, protest that was wherever it was in Thailand.
That happened nowhere near him. I want to make that clear.
And I'm like, did you purposely go there for this photo? Because if you are, then you're sick. Regardless, he says to me, he goes, yeah, I think maybe Cambodia is a good place to be right now because there might be a coup. And I'm like, first of all, I think you sent me this message 3 months ago.
Yeah,
so you're like recycling
that word out for a while.
Yeah. And then I was like, you sent this to me 2 days after Cambodia now says, hey, look, we've got some cases. It's going to be a 14-day quarantine to come in here. I'm like, where are you? What do you think? Okay, go for it, dude. Then leave. Because me and Dana are going to hang out here and have a great fucking time.
Absolutely. Look, I go to my boy soda lady up on 93. She's super happy to see me, right? Like smiles, right? Her son jokes with me if he sees me around. Like if you're not super negative, right? And David doesn't know what he's talking about. How is the military going to coup itself?
Our friend.
Yeah, our friend. How is the military going to coup itself out of existence, right? It makes no sense. So like, don't focus on the negative in life, man. You choose to live here, right? And look, our friend is going to choose to live somewhere else, and he's going to be miserable there because that's what he knows, right?
Yeah.
If that's the state of mind you're in, that whatever. And so Steve asks, is it dangerous in Cambodia for Farangs? It's a yes and no. Right, it's a complicated one.
I would say no. Let me do it quickly. No to Cambodia. Yes to Mexico. Mexico is much more dangerous to foreigners.
So I don't have your experience in Mexico, so I can't compare. For me, Cambodia. I was in Cambodia for 45 days in 2006 when it was arguably much
more different,
rougher or uncleaned than it is now. Look, so like literally I got drugged by prostitutes. I almost passed out. I was in the middle of a gunfight on my third day in country. I was in multiple tuk-tuk accidents.
Was this Phnom Penh?
In Phnom Penh, yeah.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so yeah, it is a city. I think anyone who goes there like really refers to Phnom Penh as like Asia's version of the Wild West,
Yeah.
right? It is definitely dangerous if you're doing stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, let's make the clarification that I almost got drugged by, or I did get drugged by a prostitute. You don't
Two
have
prostitutes,
that.
two.
You don't have that interface like where I go. Like I
Yeah.
don't. As far as I'm concerned, there are no more prostitutes because I don't go.
Well, so
Once I got.
here's the thing, right? I was at a restaurant. So in Cambodia, essentially, well, in Phnom Penh, where at least the parts that I saw, every establishment you went into at night is like a go-go, which is full of wait hostesses and waitresses, and like they're just full of that. And like I was just my driver brought me to a shady spot.
Okay. Well, that's like saying, "Oh my God, all of the bars in Pattaya have hookers in them."
Yeah,
Oh
no, I mean,
shit.
look, it is what it is, right? I'm not dogging what it is, but I did get drugged by two girls. So,
So does that mean you got
luckily,
twice as many drugs as you would have gotten from one girl?
well, I think my size really helped me in that situation because I knew it was coming on.
Yep.
And also, I wasn't drinking, right? I was just drinking Coke because the last thing I want to be is out in Phnom Penh inebriated and,
Yeah, no, trust
not
me, yeah.
knowing the city. And even like, so if
Yeah.
you guys watch one of Eric's, oh no, it was on Eric's Instagram, Minority Nomad's Instagram. And people were saying, he was like, where should you travel to for the first time? And I was like, I responded to his thing. I was like, oh, go to Cambodia because if you can make it in the Wild West, you're good to travel anywhere. And he was like, shit, that's true. He's like, it is a rough spot. He's like, you see CM Rep's like Disney World compared to the rest of Cambodia, right?
It's got a
And
lot of,
even
yeah.
one of my buddies who is a journalist for Vice, he was telling me, Caleb was telling me that he was doing reporting in some border town, which is all Chinese casinos. And he got caught with a camera in his bag in one of the casinos, and they were like threatening to kill him. And he said he was there doing a story because some people had just disappeared from that town. Some foreigners had just disappeared.
Yeah, that's kind of a drag. I mean, I'll tell you right now, like if Gracie could get to another country to get to the Thai embassy that provides good customer service, which, according to Todd, and I believe 150% of everything that he says, his experience at the Thai embassy in Phnom Penh was stellar. And I can't get the Thai embassy in Manila to return phone calls, let alone, they won't answer the phone, let alone return emails. So I'm like, great, I'll send Gracie to Cambodia. But I'm like, no, not by herself. I'm not going to send her there. I'll send her to Bangkok by herself. I sent her to Bangkok by herself, and she like went to the U.S. embassy, got her visa, went back to the hotel, and I showed up 3 or 4 days later. But that's Bangkok.
Mr. Mitch said he felt safe there. And Steve was saying like he's heard some horror stories. Look, it is what you make of it. I spent 45 days in Cambodia the first time I was there. I had a great time. It was a scary as fuck time at times, but it was nonetheless a great time. So here's Richard's comment back to you, Mike. On November 18, 2020, the Thai embassy in the U.S. and UK has removed the 500,000 Thai baht financial requirement for the 60-day TR visa. Starting October 1st, 2020 to September 30, 2021.
Well, that's encouraging, Richard. Thank you very much for that information. I will tell you that
back to the U.S.
Yeah, and then she could quarantine at my parents' house.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's an embassy there, are they waiving it only for citizens, or if you just apply there?
It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. In other words, what a Thai yeah, right, yeah. I should be able to pay 500,000 baht and get Gracie a 5-year visa like that. Well,
like that, yeah. So
yeah, but no, that's back up question
on comments while we were talking about Cambodia. MedTech, I don't know if I said hi to you, man. How you doing? Thank you for coming by.
No, you did. Absolutely. Always great to see him. Just so you know, it is 10 o'clock. I need to go like pretty soon.
Yeah, so Mike has stuff to do. So he already let me know. That's why I posted in the description. This is going to be a short one. Don't come late. Cody says dangers like kidnapping, dangers in crossing the street, testing your agility. Yeah, crossing the street, Cambodia is a good one. Guys, with that though, I don't have time to catch up on all the comments. Real quick, Steve asked why 45 days in Cambodia. So it was my first trip to Asia, and it was cheap. It was the cheapest place I could go. as far as like where to stay, how to be here, and it was a fun experience. And I traveled around, saw a lot. There's some more backstory to that I might get into in the future, but fun trip nonetheless.
Let me also just say thanks to Todd for his comment, because you have to have a valid visa in the U.S. to apply. Yeah, Gracie's got a 10-year U.S. visa. Just to be clear, only costs $350 for a 10-year visa, and I'm about to.
How many years did it take you to get it though?
One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't. It's as long as you give them the appropriate stuff. And then the other thing is you got to go to, and again, to be fair, she did not get it at the Thai embassy in Manila because they're fucking incompetent. She got it at the Thai embassy, she got it at the U.S. embassy in Bangkok, and they gave her water and escorted her to her interview, held up an umbrella over her head. That's the U.S. type of customer service I expect from the State Department. Whereas in Manila, no.
All right, well, I will let you get to your meetings. Thank you so much for your time, Mike. And guys, thank you so much for all of your time.
Great seeing you guys.
Appreciate it. And until next time, stay strange.
Peace.